Well, hello, everyone. It is the last panel of the day. You made it through an entire conference, the Miamiweb3 conference. Please give yourself a round of applause. We want to end this in the best way possible. Come on, we're in Miami. Can you get a little bit more energy than that? Thank you. Thank you. So we're here to talk about the economic view of the metaverse. The metaverse is an aformist. It's a weird word that people throw out constantly. We're not necessarily sure exactly what we're supposed to be doing there, but we have experts here to guide us through what that looks like. So I want to start with Jared. Please tell us a little bit about what your work looks like in the metaverse, and then also, what does the word metaverse mean to you?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. My name is Jared McCluskey. I'm the founder of The Mirror. We are a real-time game development platform built on open source software. So very similar to, you saw Figma recently with the big news about Adobe. We take a similar approach where you can design a full-blown virtual world in-game, all in real time with your friends and colleagues. If you've done something similar to Minecraft, built a world together, we aim to capture that same magic. And as far as the question of, well, what is the metaverse? There's a lot of different definitions, and I think one of the most agreed upon is that it involves a third dimension, where everything we know of the web for the most part has been either 2 dimensions on the browser or it's been gaming, and we're now starting to see the convergence of that. And of course, with now a decoupled database from that, that brings us the next generation of the internet, which is Web3.
Thank you.
Hi. My name is Louise-Marie Marguet, and I'm the founder of Emojam. So Emojam is like Giphy for Web3. We enable everybody to create and sell music stickers as NFT for your everyday conversation. So the best definition, I would say, for Metaverse, it will be the future of your website. So you go today on the website to shop, you go on the website to interact with your friends and family, social media. And so basically, the Metaverse is a decentralized infrastructure with a user experience that is much more immersive, like in the game, and where you can actually go there together with your friends.
Hi, I'm Annie E. I'm from Theirsverse, and my main job, actually, I'm a celebrity, and I've been released 23 albums before, and now I'm doing the China's Got Talent show host. So I think maybe a lot of Asian here hear about my CD before. Yeah, thank you so much. And for me, we launched Theirsverse about 4 months ago, and my son now in the NYU Tisch, he's our co-founder and artist director, and he also is a queer artist. So we concentrate about the female and LGBTQ community. That's what we're doing right now. And I think Metaverse for us is the final destination, because you will see all that NFT project at the end, they all will think about the Metaverse. But now I think it's a really difficult time because now it's a really bear market. But yeah, but these 4 months we did really doing a great job, because we've been, I think maybe a few weeks ago, we've been in the OpenSea ranking 1. So I think one thing we need to do is figure out if our NFT project needs to do the Metaverse, that what is what we want to do. That is what we're thinking now. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Marty Greenberg. I'm the founder of Zion Labs. So Zion Labs is a platform that powers NFT communities to launch and grow their communities. The way that we think about the metaverse is sort of, we think about the existing use cases and sort of the Web 2 world, and especially as how we've seen that come to play with NFT, PFP projects. And sort of how that we see that sort of a line from there to sort of the virtual reality world. And there's going to be a lot of use cases and a lot of tools that are going to need to be built to help bring a lot of commerce and social use cases into play, and so that we can actually bring those into VR.
So Marty, I want to jump in right where you just left off at. When we're talking about the metaverse, we're asking a question about economic view. What does it look like when metaverses are kind of interacting with each other based off of economics that they built individually? So one metaverse might decide to do their tokenomic system and other types of economic components in this way, and another might decide in this way. How do those interact with each other when a lot of people are saying we're moving towards, you know, more interoperable type of metaverses?
I think one good metaphor, or one way to think about this is sort of the way that the social platforms have came about. So, you know, in the way that you have, you know, these social platforms that have sort of built their own ecosystems. You know, I think that as you're starting to see what, you know, they're doing with the Meta VR and some of these others, I think they're saying there's going to be interoperability, but I think there will be certainly gated walls. And I think it's, you know, we've yet to see full interoperability, and I think there's major competitive reasons why they would not want to do full interoperability. So I think we're going to see sort of like, you know, in the beginning, it actually proliferate at the social platform level. So I think you'll sort of see Facebook's whole world grow. I think you'll see Apple's world grow. And there will be some interoperability, but I wouldn't count on a lot of it, you know, as a business, yeah.
Louise, he mentioned standard really quick, and I know we had that conversation, you know, backstage very briefly. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, how your company is moving from Web 2 to Web 3, and whether a standard actually, you know, is going to be something that we're looking to do in the future?
Yes, absolutely. Well, so I think, you know, the consumer is still the same, whether it's like a Web 2 consumer or a Web 3 consumer. We have the same needs, which is to engage with our friends and family. Now, the infrastructure is kind of different, but the best application for a good Web 3 application is that the experience is seamless and looks the same. So in our case, what we are doing is like, instead of purchasing digital goods that you can use only in one platform, you can actually use them and buy them as NFT and use them in every world that you are using. Also, when you buy them, it means that you can also resell them. So it's really, you know, giving a real value to digital assets. We spend 50% of our time online, and therefore what we buy in the physical world, you should also have the same kind of like property in the virtual world in terms of data, proof, and resale opportunity.
Thank you. And so Annie, your microphone, right?
That's
with,
okay now.
Good, great. With content, you know, you've made content across a lot of different platforms. And we want to start to understand how the economics that play into Web 2, where you might be creating music or creating kind of social content, is trapped on those platforms, how that transfers into the work that you're about to start doing in Web 3, or have actually just started doing with your new launch that happened in Web 3.
Okay, my English is not so good, but I try my best. Actually, when we think about what Theirsverse will do in the Metaverse, we first think about how to bring the Web 2 audience into the Web 3. And I'm also jumped in the Web 3 about half years. These half years, I really learned a lot from what is the decentralized, because for the celebrity, actually, we are not so decentralized. We are very centralized because always they buying something, and you know we are so far. So that's the first time I'm so close with my fans. So I have to say, we try to put more like what Louis doing. We put some concert in, some exhibition in, but when I'm traveling around, I see a lot of Metaverse right now, but they all created by the mail. So you will see very high technology, but they might know that much concept inside, even the branding story. So I think if Theirsverse gonna create the Metaverse for ourselves, then we will create maybe like Instagram can move. Also in the like China, we have a Redbook that is very like social media. Then you can teach people how to become beauty, right? Just like the Instagram, and you can show off yourself, and everyone become like star in this Metaverse, not just the celebrity. That's what I'm doing right now, and I try to bring everyone in, but now it's really difficult because like the payment system is really I have a lot of new digital wallet users in our community. We have to teach them how to download the MetaMask, how to change the crypto, how to saving the wallet first. So even the NFT project is already difficult for the new digital wallet user, especially for the Asian young generation. So into the metaverse, I think we have still a lot of things have to do. And I wish that I can become a success example that make more like me, celebrity and more entertaining job, people can, have a courage to come to the metaverse. Yeah.
So, Annie, that was really wonderful because Jared here.
Yeah, that's
is-
right. I'm so glad that Jerry here.
Exactly, is building tools for that. And Jared, for that question, people are trying to build NFT projects, crypto projects, and now, as we continue, DAO projects, and then now Metaverse projects, how do we actually help people do that in a much more simple way? Your company is creating a sandbox for that in a lot of ways. Can you speak a little bit about what that looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So a few things there. First of all, so we are a game development platform, which to play games, of course, you don't need crypto, and there's a lot of crypto actually kind of has a bad taste in the gaming community's mouth right now because there have been so many scams in this space. So we try to be very tactful in how we integrate any crypto angle, which I think is very important to actually have real utility. And of course, because NFTs are immediately liquid and can be sold, there's all this incentive to create these things without having real utility. So to go back to your question, though, as a quick backstory, if you ever played Second Life, that was like the OG metaverse from the early 2000s. And I built a bunch of 3D models for fun as a kid, and very quickly I was kind of like, well, what do I do with this next? I would show it to my mom, and I even brought a printout of a beach scene to my third grade classroom. But I really didn't have anything to do after that. And I found Second Life, which was just incredible because it was the first real-time game development platform where we could be, all of us here in world, building a car, for example, and then sell that car on the spot for real US dollars. So I built an online business when I was in 7th grade in Second Life, building these 3D models. And I was playing Call of Duty and other games, of course, and so it was this military-esque organization. And one day I was playing a match, and I noticed this guy across the map who had much of the same stuff I had built. And I was like, wait a second. I messaged the guy, and he tried to actually sell the stuff to me. He was like, yeah, I built this. You want to buy it? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was actually what I created. Turns out the guy had hacked into the system, stole my 3D models, and then was selling them for a profit. And materially hurt my middle school online business, which was a blast. But this was 15 years ago. Do I try to file a lawsuit or what? No real solution up until recently, actually, with the NFT wave, where it's like, okay, digital asset ownership has not actually been solved up until recently, and we think we can actually use that for digital asset ownership and then create free market incentives to teach people how to code. So from that experience in Second Life, I don't have a computer science degree, but since then I've written code for SpaceX, I've taught code at a university, and with that I hope the Mirror can do the same for many people, help them to learn how to code.
So I want to ask all the panelists, because we're looking at economic view, each one of you guys are building out these spaces or tools for these spaces, but what role do people have to play if they're users of these spaces? Are there jobs in the metaverse? What does that kind of look like? Does anybody have an opinion on that?
You want me to start?
Yes, please do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends what skills you might have, but there's a ton of interesting new skills that have already, or let's say job roles that have popped up in the metaverse, or sort of the overall Web3 world that didn't exist before. I think you see community managers and things, that were not in existence before. I also just think that, when we were talking about content creators and just to sort of piggyback on that, so we signed deals with 2 professional athletes, skateboarders, to launch their NFT communities and help them essentially monetize their content. And if you think about it, a lot of these athletes, their actual value is their content, and not necessarily the actual. It's not necessarily the in person anymore, but it's a lot of the digitized content, and a lot of them give it away for free. And I think that goes from the professional down to the amateur. There's a lot of amateur, content for, sports content, whatever the case may be, that you see on TikTok. It's all being given away for free. And these, and Instagram and these platforms that are essentially, monetizing your content and the skills that, you're putting out there for free. And so, in the case of what we're doing with these skateboarders and others, we see opportunities to actually help people really monetize, these skills that they have and bring that to the metaverse.
I think the Second Life is a very good example for us because we did learn about a lot from the Second Life. Yeah, that's what we're thinking about right now. And also, just like say what skill that I have, I think for me, like we turn the consumer, become holder, and then become community, and then become builder. It's really difficult to educate, the new consumer that what we are doing now. So for us, the first thing is we invite a lot of queer artists, like from Central St. Martin, Parsons. We got a lot of, we have a young artist found for the moment. And we wish they can not just, come in and spend money, buy a lot of things. Also, they can create our virtual costume. They can, create a dog. Because one time girls buy one, virtual, and then they will buy a lot of things like eyeball, like makeup, like lipstick, and then buy the dog, buy a house, and then buy a bag. And we also invite a lot of luxury branding, like we cooperate with the Chanel boutique in the Soho, and also the Dior, and we also cooperate with the Givenchy. So maybe we can also invite different top brand into the metaverse, sell their makeup and the reality things plus the virtual things together. That's a lot of things have to do, I would say. But Second Life is really good for us. But this one we want to face more like they can create and build together, and they also can make money here. That's what I want to do right now. Yeah.
So it seems like from each one of these that marketplaces play a huge role in some of the economic structures that's being created in the metaverse when we're talking about them growing, at least initially. Hopefully over time that continues to develop and evolve into more complicated type of roles, like completely outside of it just being like a seller, a buyer type of relationship. But it does seem like a start. So one thing I did want to ask, Louise, because I know people don't call you that in public all the time. When you're thinking about interactions in the metaverse, right? Like right now, you focus on, with Emojam, people sending emojis through your platform. But how do you foresee interaction evolving over time when we're talking about the metaverse? Because that's going to be a huge role in how the economics play out in the long term and how people actually end up creating relationships in the long term.
Yes, no, it's a very interesting question and fascinating in terms of creativity. So if we look like back in the day, I don't know if you guys have ever played to Sims. Remember, like when you were building your house and when you wanted to communicate with each other, it was a language that nobody could hear, but you had like a little square above you, and that was signaling that you were talking to somebody else. Now on Roblox, what you can do is that you can actually talk to the other player, and they do the sound effects. There is still, sometimes some regulation that need to be added in terms of what you can say to stranger, basically, in the game. But there is no visual representation, I would say, of what you are saying. It's your avatar and then your piece of sound that is decorated. Now, what we are doing with Emojam, and I think what will definitely make conversation much more engaging in games in the metaverse is to kind of utilize the emoji as a projection of yourself. So instead of talking with a square above you or having a chat on the side, how can you visually express yourself as a projection? So you have your character in everything you're saying, or almost as important visually as your avatar. So you can really express beyond just a square. So that's work that we are doing with some of the gaming studio and the metaverse. We are all collaborating on this because this is really the future of communication the same way as messaging changed our life.
So rapid fire real quick, one thing that each one of you want to see more of in the metaverse space. Jared?
I think more people creating, and I think Annie, you hit the nail on the head, that there's a beauty about the consumer also becoming the creator. And long term, I think that's great. I think it's what we're built to do as humans.
Oh, Louise? Yeah. Oh, just anything that you think you want to see more of in the metaverse space.
So I think I want to see more.
Yes.
I think making it easier to access on mobile, because as of today, most of the metaverse things, they are like web browser that you use on the phone, and it takes a long time to download and access, and therefore, you know, the consumer, they love convenience. So I think if we can accelerate that, that will make it easier to be adapted. And second of all, I think the most important thing is the storytelling. Why are we all on Fortnite or Roblox is because the story is pretty amazing. And so if you apply those stories to a metaverse infrastructure, I think it will be a game changer.
Annie?
Yeah, we just launched 4 months, and so far so good. Even if this is the bear market, but our community here is really very good contributor for us. So we've been like the floor price keep going, and the community is so organic right now. And they are mostly it's a Gen Z, so they are all new digital wallet users. So they have a lot of faith with the Web3, not like just the economy, pay or buy or get the money. They want to use the Web3 or blockchain or everything about the Web3. They want to, make some dreams here. So I just want to say we still like baby. Even my Web3 is so fast. This 4 months, it's crazy 4 months. I have to say, I already think maybe the celebrity, the timeline is already very crazy, but Web3 is more crazy more than the entertainer job, I have to say. They say Web3 never sleep. I finally felt that. So I have to say, even the Theirsverse only 4 months, but we will keep building, because I think the bear market, the important is how to build. So we will still invite a lot of top branding cooperate with us. Also, I want to have a chance to cooperate with Louise and everyone's here, and also still let more people knowing about what Theirsverse doing and what is our utility and what they can get something, and also they can create in the future with us together.
Marty?
So I think on your question, I think I would like to see a little bit more focus on like community and connection and people finding their tribe, and maybe a little bit less focus on materialism and digital products and stuff, if I had to choose, yeah.
Thank you all so much. Wrapping up the Miami Web3 conference. Really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your evening, guys.